Mike Wolfe, who plays the role of Frank Fritz on American Pickers, has been surrounded by his loved ones in the days following the demise of his longtime friend and co-star Frank Fritz. Due to the fact that he was unable to recuperate from a stroke that he had experienced in July 2022, Frank passed away on September 30, only a few days before he would have turned 61 years old. Mike, who is 60 years old, was working on his Two Lanes guest house in La Claire, Iowa on October 3, according to photographs that were obtained by the United States Sun. Mike could be seen in the photographs actively working on the holiday rental, which he has been renovating in preparation for the time when he will make the house available for fans to rent out. During a particularly emotional occasion, Mike could be seen in one of the photographs sharing a hug with one of his employees. It was also at one point that his mother and sister, Beth, made a visit to the vacation rental location. It was clear that Mike was putting in a lot of effort during the day because he was observed hauling things inside the house. Additionally, he strolled around the property and pointed to the roof while he was talking to a worker, most likely about another remodeling. When Mike went to work, he donned pants and a t-shirt that was navy blue in color. First appearance of. The first photographs of Mike were obtained by the United States Sun on October 2, just a few days after his untimely death. The majority of Mike's day was spent finishing up improvements on his vacation rental property in Iowa, which kept him busy. Beth, Mike's sister, was spotted assisting her brother as he entered and exited the house to retrieve equipment and antiques from his vehicle. Beth was seen offering her assistance to her brother. Due to the fact that he kept his head down throughout the day, Mike was in a more gloomy mood than he normally would have been. After an exhausting day of work, Mike went back to his house in Iowa for the evening. Brand Anyview Project. A vacation rental property measuring 2,142 square feet was purchased by Mike in December of 2021 for the price of $300,000. The house, which is 2 stories tall and was constructed in the year 1880, has 3 bedrooms, a basement, a fireplace, and a number of other amenities. The improvements that Mike did to the house were previously disclosed by the United States Sun. One of the renovations was painting the former off-white building on the property a dark green color with black trim. A stone fire pit that was just recently erected, a wooden porch with a contemporary black steel railing, and views of the Mississippi River can be seen in the backyard of the mansion. Additionally, Mike is the owner of a vacation rental that is situated in a building in Columbia, Tennessee, that was constructed in the year 1857. Sadly moving on Tuesday morning, Mike made the announcement that Frank had passed away by posting a message on Instagram that stated, "It is with a broken heart that I share with all of you that Frank passed away last night." The message read, "I have known Frank for more than half of my life, and what you have seen on television has always been what I have seen. As a dreamer who was just as sensitive as he was witty, Frank has always been the same. Frank had the ability to touch the hearts of a great number of people simply by being himself, and he did this in the same way that he did on camera. In front of millions of people who were interested in our journeys, who would have ever imagined that we would be sitting in the same cockpit of a white cargo van. Before the show, we would take off together to places we never knew existed with no destination in mind, and just the shared passion to discover something interesting and historic." Additionally, Robbie, Mike's brother, and Danielle Colby, Frank's co-star, also expressed their deepest condolences and sympathy. And in Diang Bao, he made his most recent appearance on American Pickers in an episode that aired in March of 2020. His back operation, which resulted in 185 stitches and 2 rods being placed in his spine, required him to take some time off in order to recover. In the 77 days that he was away from the show, he checked himself into a rehabilitation center in Iowa for alcohol addiction. As Frank said in an interview with the United States Sun in 2021, "I haven't talked to Mike in 2 years." This was Frank's exclusive statement regarding his relationship with Mike. "Despite the fact that he was aware that my back was infected, he did not call me to inquire about how I was doing to take my place in the position. I am really perplexed as to why he is acting in such a manner toward me." Despite the fact that he had expressed his desire to come back to the series after his break, Mike revealed that he was officially terminated from his position in the year 2021. Immediately following Frank's stroke, the two were able to make amends. A crisis in health. In July of 2022, Frank experienced a stroke when he was at home in Iowa. Due to the fact that Frank was taken to the hospital for pneumonia and a seizure on 4 separate occasions in 2022 and 2023, he was unable to recover from the stroke that he had suffered. Additionally, in August of 2022, Frank's close friends submitted paperwork to establish a conservatorship and guardianship for him. Frank's conservator was Midwestone Bank, and his close friend Chris Davis was his guardian. Frank's conservator took care of his financial matters. The documents that were obtained by the United States Sun stated that Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired as a result of his stroke that he is unable to care for his own safety or to provide for necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, or medical care, without which physical injury or illness may occur. According to the statement, Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to make, communicate, or carry out important decisions concerning his own financial affairs. During the time that Mr. Fritz is still recuperating and receiving treatment for his injuries, decisions need to be made regarding his care and placement. For the purpose of preventing immediate harm to him, it was determined that the appointment of a guardian and conservator was necessary. Frank's reconciliation. After suffering a stroke, Frank was unable to move while using a wheelchair. A source had earlier stated to the United States Sun that although he is able to walk, he will always require the wheelchair because he is unable to walk for extended periods of time. "You basically lose motion," she said. His mobility was lost. Stroke can affect either the left or the right side of the body. In this case, it afflicted the right side. On the other hand, the insider argued that Frank never lost the personality that made him popular among the audience. During that particular period, the informant disclosed that he is the same old Frank. He possesses a positive mindset as well as a wonderful sense of humor. "The jokes that we tell are always funny. As a result of you making the most of the circumstances, he has come to terms with everything that has happened. He has a good understanding of things. He is a cheerful person, and he has a good sense of humor." Then, during the last few months of his life, Frank's condition deteriorated. According to a source who spoke with the United States Sun exclusively, he has been bad ever since the stroke, and he had been getting worse. The right side of his body was completely immobile, the doctor said. He needed attention around the clock. He was not going to get better under any circumstances. He was home at the time. Due to the fact that Frank required skilled and long-term nursing care at the time, the conservator Midwestone ordered that Frank's finances be handed to them in July of 2024. A reminiscence of Frank. In an exclusive interview with the United States Sun, Chris Davis, who is also Frank's guardian and a close friend, disclosed the burial arrangements for the late History Channel star. "It is planned that in the future there will be a celebration of life. It is going to be really significant. Fans are welcome to attend. We already have a number of bands, including my own band, that are interested in participating in it. There is a good chance that this will take place in the spring." Chris continued by saying, "I will say that Frank loved his fans, and that he passed away peacefully with friends by his side." Francis was a good friend of Chris's.